Welcome back my channel in the vast, sprawling world of numismatics where coins are more than just currency but rather tiny time capsules that whisper stories from the past. The 1999 USA 1-cent coin holds a place that is both humble and extraordinary. At first glance, it's nothing more than a penny, small, round, copper-colored, and seemingly unremarkable. But within its modest frame lies a tale of history, design, minting precision, and collector fascination that has culminated in something truly astounding, a value that now stands at an incredible $110,000. Let's begin by stepping back into the late 1990s, a time when the United States was on the cusp of a new millennium. The year 1999 marked the final stretch of the 20th century, a period filled with technological advancements, cultural shifts, and economic growth. It was during this time that millions of pennies were produced across the country's mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but one particular run of coins would go on to capture the imaginations of collectors decades later. The Lincoln cent, as it's officially known, had been in circulation since 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1999, it had become a familiar sight in pockets, purses, and piggy banks across America. The obverse of the coin still bore Victor David Brenner's iconic profile of President Lincoln, a design so enduring that it had stood the test of time for nearly a century. On the reverse, however, there was a change that would spark curiosity and eventually lead to immense collector interest. For most of the 20th century, the reverse of the Lincoln cent featured two wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design, commonly referred to as the wheat penny, graced the coin from 1909 until 1958. Then, in 1959, it was replaced with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro. That design remained largely unchanged until 1999, when the U.S. Mint launched a special program called the 50-State Quarters Program. While the focus of this initiative was on quarters, it also inspired a temporary redesign of the 1-cent coin's reverse to honor the upcoming celebration of the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth in 2009. As part of this commemoration, the U.S. Mint invited the public to submit design concepts for a new reverse of the Lincoln cent. After reviewing thousands of entries, a panel selected 4 finalists. These designs were meant to represent different phases of Lincoln's life: his birthplace in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his legacy as president. However, before any of these could be implemented, a decision was made to temporarily revert to the original wheat penny design for a limited number of cents minted in 1999 and 2000. This was intended as a nostalgic farewell to the classic look before introducing the new designs in 2009. But here's where things get interesting and valuable. During the production of the 1999 Lincoln cents, a rare error occurred. A small number of coins were struck without the usual zinc coating that had been used in penny production since 1982. These coins, which retained the full copper composition of earlier years, were supposed to have been phased out entirely. Their reappearance in 1999 was unintentional and extremely rare. Only a few dozen of these error coins are believed to exist today, making them among the most sought-after items in American numismatics. What makes this even more remarkable is that many people didn't realize the significance of these coins at the time. They simply circulated as ordinary pennies, tucked away in loose change or deposited into banks without a second thought. Some were even melted down or lost forever. It wasn't until years later, when collectors began noticing inconsistencies in certain 1999 cents, that the rarity of these pieces became apparent. Now let's take a closer look at the design elements that make this coin so unique. The obverse, as always, features the left-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. His expression is solemn yet dignified, capturing the essence of a leader who guided the nation through one of its darkest hours. The word liberty curves along the top rim, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears just above Lincoln's ear. The date, 1999, is inscribed below his bust, and the mint mark, if present, can be found near the bottom right. On the reverse, we return to the classic wheat penny design. 2 bundles of wheat flank the central text, symbolizing the agricultural strength of the United States during Lincoln's time. The words 1 cent are boldly displayed in the center, with United States of America encircling the top. The simplicity of this design contrasts beautifully with the intricate detail of Lincoln's portrait, creating a harmonious balance between form and function. But what about the minting process itself? In 1999, the U.S. Mint operated 3 primary facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each facility produced Lincoln cents for general circulation, with the Philadelphia and Denver mints responsible for the majority of coins in circulation. The San Francisco Mint, meanwhile, focused primarily on producing proof coins for collectors. Most 1999 pennies do not bear a mint mark as they were produced in Philadelphia, which stopped using the P mint mark on circulating coins after 1980. Coins from Denver carry the D mint mark, while those from San Francisco are marked with an S. However, the rare era coins we're discussing today were likely struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Since they lack the standard zinc core, their weight and metallic composition differ slightly from regular issue pennies. This anomaly is what initially caught the attention of sharp-eyed collectors and numismatic experts alike. The story of how these coins were discovered is almost as fascinating as the coins themselves. For years, collectors had been aware of the possibility of error coins, pieces that deviated from standard specifications due to mechanical malfunctions, human oversight, or other anomalies during the minting process. But the idea that a batch of pure copper pennies had slipped through the system in 1999 seemed almost too good to be true. It wasn't until around 2006 that reports began surfacing about unusual 1999 pennies turning up in circulation. Some individuals noticed that the coins had a slightly different color and sound when dropped compared to standard pennies. Others took them to local coin shops where preliminary tests revealed their unique composition. As word spread, demand for these coins skyrocketed and prices began climbing rapidly. Today, a certified example of the 1999 copper Lincoln cent in pristine condition can fetch anywhere from $75,000 to $110,000 depending on its grade and provenance. Certified by reputable grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, these coins are considered blue-chip collectibles, rare, historic, and incredibly valuable. But why exactly is this coin so valuable? First, there's the historical significance. It represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage, bridging the gap between the traditional copper pennies of the early 20th century and the modern zinc-based cents we use today. Its existence is a testament to the complexities of large-scale minting operations and the occasional hiccups that occur despite meticulous planning. Second, there's the sheer rarity. With only a handful of these coins known to exist, they've become the ultimate prize for serious collectors. Owning one is like holding a piece of numismatic gold, a tangible connection to history that few others possess. Third, there's the element of surprise. Unlike other valuable coins that were minted in limited quantities or specifically for collectors, these 1999 pennies were never meant to be special. They entered circulation unnoticed, hidden among billions of ordinary cents. The fact that some of them managed to survive and gain recognition adds an air of mystery and excitement to their story. And finally, there's the financial incentive. As with any rare collectible, scarcity drives value. Over the past 2 decades, the market for high-grade error coins has grown significantly, attracting investors and collectors willing to pay top dollar for exceptional pieces. The 1999 copper Lincoln cent fits perfectly into this category, offering both historical intrigue and strong investment potential. Of course, with such high stakes comes the need for caution. Unfortunately, the rising popularity of these coins has led to an increase in counterfeits and altered specimens. Unscrupulous individuals have attempted to pass off modified zinc cents as genuine copper ones by altering their surface appearance or artificially aging them. This is why certification by a trusted third-party grading service is absolutely essential when purchasing or selling these coins. Without proper authentication, it's impossible to determine whether a coin is legitimate or a clever forgery. So how does one go about identifying a real 1999 copper Lincoln cent? There are several telltale signs that experts look for. First, the coin should weigh approximately 3.11 grams, which is the standard weight for pre-1982 copper pennies. Post-1982 zinc cents weigh slightly less, around 2.5 grams. Second, the coloration should be a deep reddish-brown hue consistent with uncirculated copper coins. Third, the edge of the coin should show no visible plating or discoloration, as modern zinc cents have a distinct copper-plated exterior. Finally, a simple magnet test can help differentiate between copper and zinc. Since zinc is magnetic and copper is not, a genuine copper penny will not stick to a magnet. While these methods can provide some initial clues, they shouldn't be relied upon exclusively. The safest approach is always to have the coin professionally graded and authenticated by a recognized authority in the field. Looking back at the journey of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin, it's clear that what began as an accidental error has evolved into one of the most captivating stories in modern numismatics. From its origins in the twilight of the 20th century to its current status as a six-figure collectible, this humble penny has defied expectations and captured the imagination of coin enthusiasts around the world. Its appeal lies not only in its monetary value but also in the sense of discovery it offers. Anyone could have held one of these coins in their hands at some point, unaware of the treasure they possessed. And for those who did recognize its significance, the reward has been immense. As we wrap up this detailed exploration of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin, it's worth reflecting on the broader implications of such discoveries. Coins are more than just legal tender. They are artifacts of history, culture, and craftsmanship. Each one carries with it a story waiting to be uncovered, a connection to the past that transcends time and geography. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a casual hobbyist, or simply someone who appreciates the beauty of everyday objects, the tale of the 1999 copper Lincoln cent serves as a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures come in the smallest packages. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the estimated current value of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin, in its rarest and most desirable form, is an astonishing $110,000. Yes, you heard that right. $110,000 for a single penny. Not just any penny, but a rare copper version mistakenly produced in 1999, long after the U.S. Mint had switched to using zinc in its 1-cent coins. This error coin, once overlooked and nearly forgotten, has become one of the most valuable modern-era U.S. coins in existence. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket change or tucked away in an old jar of coins. It could quite literally change your life overnight. So, if you happen to own a 1999 Lincoln cent, or if you ever come across one, don't just dismiss it as another penny. Take a closer look. Weigh it. Listen to the way it sounds when it hits a hard surface. Consider having it tested or evaluated by a professional. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth over $100,000. Because in the world of coins, sometimes the smallest denomination can hold the biggest surprises. And that is the story of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin. In the vast world of American coinage, there exists a tiny copper-colored piece that billions of people have touched without ever realizing its hidden potential. It jingles quietly in pockets, rests forgotten at the bottom of piggy banks, and slides easily across store counters. It is the humble 1-cent coin, the Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that one particular penny minted in 2006 is worth not just 1 cent, but an eye-popping $95,000? Sounds impossible? Well, buckle up, because the story behind this unassuming coin will change the way you look at spare change forever. To truly understand how a 2006 penny became a 5-figure treasure, we have to journey back in time. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature the image of a real person. This marked a turning point in U.S. coinage, one that honored not only the nation's greatest leaders but also began a rich tradition of storytelling through design. By the time 2006 rolled around, the Lincoln cent had already undergone several changes. The original 1909 design with wheat ears on the reverse gave way to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This memorial design, crafted by Frank Gasparo, remained on the back of the penny for 50 years and became one of the most widely recognized coin designs in the world. The front of the coin, however, remained remarkably consistent. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, a solemn profile that endured for over a century. 2006 was an interesting year for American coin production. It was a year of transition, yet not many could have predicted the surprises hidden within certain batches of coins. The U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents that year, primarily from its Philadelphia and Denver facilities. As always, the coins featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the familiar Liberty inscription, the year 2006, and the mint mark P or D. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood proudly, as it had for decades. So, what could possibly make a single 2006 penny stand out in such a massive sea of identical coins? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity, error, condition, and the mysterious unpredictability of the minting process. One particular coin from 2006, now famous in numismatic circles, was struck with a rare and significant error. This penny wasn't just minted like the rest. Somewhere along the production line, something went wrong, or depending on how you look at it, very, very right. This 2006 penny was struck on a planchet intended for a different coin entirely. Instead of being made from the standard copper-plated zinc planchet that weighs 2.5 grams, this coin was accidentally struck on a foreign bronze planchet believed to be left over from another coin production run, possibly intended for a coin minted for another country. This foreign planchet error resulted in a coin that was slightly heavier than a normal 2006 penny. The coloration was off too, more golden bronze than the usual reddish copper. But the differences were subtle enough that this penny easily could have slipped through unnoticed by anyone who wasn't paying attention, and it nearly did. But then, a sharp-eyed collector noticed something strange. The coin looked different, felt different, and when weighed, it was slightly over 3 grams instead of the expected 2.5. It was then submitted to a professional grading service. The results came back. It was, in fact, a mint error penny struck on a foreign planchet. It had been authenticated, graded, and suddenly a penny worth 1 cent was worth thousands. As word of this coin spread among the numismatic community, interest grew rapidly. Serious collectors began searching their stashes of 2006 pennies. Dealers began investigating coin rolls. Everyone wanted to know, could there be more? Were there other examples out there? To this day, only a tiny handful of these error coins have surfaced, each one commanding a premium price. But one example in particular, preserved in near-perfect condition and graded MS67 red by PCGS, made headlines when it sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $95,000. So how did such a small piece of metal come to be worth more than many cars, college tuition, or even some houses? The answer lies in its extreme rarity and desirability. Error coins like this, especially those created with foreign planchets, are some of the rarest and most sought-after anomalies in U.S. coinage. The fact that this error happened in the 21st century during a time of tightly controlled minting practices makes it even more astounding. The mystery of how a foreign planchet ended up in the coin press at a U.S. mint facility in 2006 adds another layer of intrigue. Some speculate it was a leftover blank from an earlier production run. Others suggest it was mistakenly included in a shipment meant for coins produced under contract for another country. Whatever the origin, the result was a modern marvel, a coin that should not exist, but somehow does. For collectors, such a find is the equivalent of winning the lottery. It's a reminder that even today, in an age of automation and digital everything, there's still room for serendipity, for magic, for the extraordinary hiding within the ordinary. And that's part of the reason coin collecting remains such a passionate pursuit for so many people. Every coin holds a story. Most tell tales of presidents, monuments, or mottos. But every once in a while, a coin tells the story of mystery, luck, and incredible value. It's also a story that reignites the age-old practice of coin hunting, of checking your change, peering into penny rolls, and examining every detail of every coin you encounter. Because if a 2006 penny can be worth $95,000, then who's to say what else might be out there waiting to be discovered?